Over the course of 2 days, the NFL saw its playoff field upended, with the number 3 seed in both conferences being sent home by the number 6 seeds, while each game was decided by a single score. It was a wild card weekend that delivered on its name, and it set up a divisional round for next weekend that looks far different than most people predicted. Here's what we learned. Running backs are cool again. The passing game seems to get more important every season, but the most valuable player of the weekend was Tennessee's Derrick Henry. The supersize back rumbled over the Patriots to the tune of 204 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown, helping make up for quarterback Ryan Tannehill's no-show. Henry was not alone in reminding people of the impact a good running back can make. Dalvin Cook played a huge role in Minnesota's upset over the Saints, totaling 130 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Devin Singletary, a rookie out of Florida Atlantic, had 134 yards from scrimmage for Buffalo, yet lost thanks to a thrilling Houston comeback in which Duke Johnson provided 2 key blocks on a 2-point conversion, and then reeled off an 18-yard catch and run, on a 3-RD&18 play, that kept a drive alive long enough for Deshaun Watson to win the game. Beast mode with the second effort at moneylinchpick.twitter.com/S30ZTCUAWC. Marshawn Lynch had at least one more beast quake in him. Speaking of running backs, Lynch, who was retired as recently as 2 weeks ago, followed up his flying touchdown in a Week 17 loss to San Francisco by powering his way into the end zone against Philadelphia on a play in which he appeared to be stopped by several defenders multiple yards short of the goal line. While the run was not as lengthy as his famous beast quake against New Orleans in 2011, it provided a similar feeling of helplessness for his opponent and set the tone in a victory that was more convincing than the 17-9 final score. Karma is not always instant. Way back in 2009, Josh McDaniels, then the head coach of the Denver Broncos, cut his team's punter, Brett Kern. The Titans quickly snatched the promising 23-year-old off waivers, and in 2017, 8 seasons after McDaniels deemed him expendable, Kern earned his first trip to the Pro Bowl. On Friday, he was named the NFL's first-team All-Pro punter, and a day after that he got some sweet revenge on McDaniels, now the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. Kern played a huge role in Tennessee's come-from-behind victory, contributing 4 punts in the second half that gave New England an average starting position of their own 8-yard line. His last one pinned the Patriots at the 1-yard line, all but sealing their fate. There are no bad matchups in the playoffs. The NFL buried Buffalo-Houston in the Saturday afternoon time slot and proceeded to get burned when the Texans came back from a 16-0 deficit, eventually winning the weekend's most exciting game in overtime thanks to a Deshaun Watson play that will live forever on highlight reels. The Vikings, written off by everyone including us in their matchup with the Saints, took the best shots New Orleans had to give and then had Kirk Cousins engineer a beautiful game-winning drive in overtime. When Cousins dropped a perfect 43-yard pass just over Adam Thielen's shoulder to set up his game-winning, 4-yard touchdown throw to Kyle Rudolph, the quarterback shrugged off years of disappointment and mockery. The weekend's Gouda matchups could hardly compare to the Bada ones. They should make the whole team out of Taysom Hill. The sport of football owes Hill an apology for his singular performance in the wild card round not having come in a win. The Saints' Swiss Army knife completed a 50-yard pass to Deont Harris, ran the ball 4 times for 50 yards, caught 2 passes for 25 yards and a touchdown, and was credited with a solo tackle on special teams. And because of the realities of how memory and highlights work, the performance will be largely forgotten by next weekend. Maybe if Hill can master punting or kicking by next season he won't suffer this type of indignity again. Life is rough for wild card teams. As the lowest-seeded teams in the playoffs, the Titans and the Vikings were assigned the nearly impossible task of beating Tom Brady and Drew Brees on the road. Both teams delivered. Their reward? Tennessee will travel to Baltimore to face quarterback Lamar Jackson and the 14-2 Ravens, and Minnesota will travel to San Francisco to face defensive end Nick Bosa and the 13-349 ERS. In its initial assessment, Las Vegas was expecting the divisional round to be far less exciting than the wild card round. The 49 ERS are favored by 7 points over the Vikings, the Ravens are favored by 10 over the Titans, and the Chiefs are favored by 9.5 over the Texans. The closest line has the Packers favored by 3.5 points over the Seahawks. It was not the most exciting weekend for quarterbacks, with a grand total of 6 touchdown passes thrown in the 4 wild card games, one of which was thrown a wide receiver. Watson, however, stole the show by refusing to go down on a game-saving play in overtime in which he spun out of 2 potential sacks before finding Tywan Jones for a 34-yard catch and run, setting up a game-winning field goal in overtime. DeAndre Hopkins said it all when asked about the play. I hope everyone watched this today, but he's amazing, Hopkins told reporters. You can't put too many words on it. Minnesota's Dalvin Cook scored one more touchdown, and Seattle's Marshawn Lynch had a throwback game, but Henry, who was the N.F.L's leading rusher this season, gets the nod as he was a one-man show in Tennessee's upset over New England. In the second half of the game, when the Titans needed him most, Henry seemed to take the ball on every play, and the Patriots never found an answer for him. Minnesota's Adam Thielen had one of the prettier catches you will ever see, and it set his team up to win in overtime, but Metcalf ended up with a slightly better game thanks to an edge in receiving yards, and a wild touchdown in which he made the heads-up decision to get up and run before anyone touched him on a diving catch near the end zone. Like the wild card round, the divisional games are split up over 2 days. Number 6 Vikings at number 149 ERS, 4:35 p.m., NBC. Early line, 49 ERS -7. Number 6 Titans at number 1 Ravens, 8:15 p.m., CBS. Early line, Ravens -10. Number 4 Texans at number 2 Chiefs, 3:05 p.m., CBS. Early line, Chiefs -9.5. Number 5 Seahawks at number 2 Packers, 6:40 p.m., Fox. Early line, Packers -3.5. Asterisk except when it takes more. Texans 22, Bills 19. Josh Allen beat himself up quite a bit in the aftermath of Buffalo's loss, but the second-year quarterback may want to keep something in mind. According to Pro Football Reference, he was just the 3rd player in NFL history to have 250 or more passing yards and 90 or more rushing yards in a playoff game, so the loss might have something to do with his teammates as well. Titans 20, Patriots 13. Derrick Henry's running and Tennessee's defense were enough to get the Titans past New England, but if they are to have a prayer against Baltimore next weekend, they will need a lot more from quarterback Ryan Tannehill, who completed just 8 passes for 72 yards, and wide receiver A.J. Brown, who had 1 catch for 4 yards. Vikings 26, Saints 20. It was trumped up a bit because it came against New Orleans, but tight end Kyle Rudolph appeared to commit something akin to offensive pass interference on his game-winning touchdown catch, which could not have felt good for Saints fans. Seahawks 17, Eagles 9. The disappointment in Philadelphia was palpable, as Carson Wentz, who missed the previous 2 postseasons with injuries, was forced to leave with a concussion after attempting just 4 passes. Josh McCown gave it his best effort, but he could not keep up with Russell Wilson and Seattle.